Well, we had a fabulous retreat and a good time was had by all. The recordings are in the process of being processed, and it takes a while because there's a lot of different elements to those. And our equipment, my equipment was not quite up to standard. I'm going to be buying a new laptop so that I'm not causing any problems. So there's a little bit of editing to do. So please be patient. We will get them to you as soon as possible. Apart from that, you are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. Your upgrades are well underway. Many of the beings that attended the retreat in person, including our dear one, had some significant upgrades, energy upgrades. And what we mean by that is that there were some shifts and changes that were able to be made within the physical structure of those beings. So when you are doing your forgiveness practice, when you are trying to undo some of the conditioning programs that you are becoming well aware of, there can be a little time lapse, let's say, between the shift and change in your consciousness and your physical and electrical structures. So when you come to a retreat, whether it be in person or an online event such as this, we are joining with you completely in online events like this. We are able to discern and assist those of you that have shifted your consciousness. We are able to help you shift your physical structures a little bit. And what that may mean is something like reconnecting a synapse that has been disconnected because you have a block. When you come to a retreat and you do your forgiveness practice and you are focused on shifting and changing your conditioned mind, there will be at times a change where you decide, for example, that you are not going to continue a habit that you have done for years and years and years. When you make that 100% decision, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. And this was one of the focal points in the retreat, that we were asking people to make a decision on certain things that they know they do, whether it's a lack of exercise or not drinking enough water or gossiping or whatever it is that you're indulging in, and you know what it is, you'll know what your weak points are. At the retreat, we suggested that those beings in attendance make a decision that there was something that they were going to shift and change when they got home. And if that decision was an absolute decision, 100%, I've had enough of this, I've been doing this thing for 25 years and it's still not working for me, it's time that I made a decision, 100% decision, that I am no longer going to hold myself down by doing this, then we are able to shift and change those physical structures that are associated with that decision. And what that means is that you don't have to wait for a new habit to be formed. What you can actually do by that decision, by participating in this kind of work, you can make the decision, and within a relatively short time, it can be solidified within your body-mind system. And so it is very good for all of you to attend these live streams. It's very good for you if you can attend the broadcast of the retreat. It's great if you can attend an in-person event. The in-person events are multifaceted, multi-layered. There's a lot of different energies flowing, meeting people that you've only met online, for example. So they are a great opportunity if you want to up the spiritual game, if you want to up your spiritual game. So when we work with groups such as yours, and we're working with many groups around the planet, this being is not the only being that we are channeling through. There are many beings who have risen to a frequency point where we can make contact with them and begin to bring messages through. When we are working with groups such as yourselves, we are very, very focused in, we will say, massaging you into a higher frequency. Now, when you listen to our broadcasts, there are very few times that we bring in new information. We are bringing forth reminders, reminders, reminders. We work the same program that your indoctrinators have worked, which is the program of repetition, because when you have a deeply ingrained ego strategy that you have developed over many decades as an adult in this society, it is extremely difficult to let it go. It is extremely difficult to make that change of mind. And it is the change of mind that is only required. The physical behaviors will shift as you change your mind, and the thoughts that you have become different, and you begin to believe different thoughts, then the behaviors are easily moved. But it is that mental game that is the most challenging for you, and it can seem to take forever, but the truth of the matter is it only takes forever if you still want it. So you have to decide, in whatever form you feel your negativities. Let's say you're a argumentative kind of person and you keep getting in fights with people and keep getting in squabbles with people. You may decide after having 50 fights, well, especially in these times, you may decide, you know what, fighting it doesn't make any difference to anybody, and it really brings my frequency down. I am going to stop arguing with people. Now, the reason you argue with people comes from your past. It may be a past life experience that precipitates that behavior, or it may be a natal family issue where your family was very argumentative at the table, and if you didn't join in, you were deemed to be on your high horse or not part of the family. And so you saw as a child, for example, that if you didn't get in on the discussion or the argument, that you were chastised in some way. So to get your parents' love, to get positive attention, you learned to argue. And that strategy, that ego strategy, will stay with you. If you learned it in a previous incarnation, or if you learned it in your childhood, that ego strategy will stay with you until you decide to change it. It won't go away by itself, because the ego, which is your protector, keeping your physical body safe from harm and keeping you alive, has decided in your world. And of course, you must remember that a child is raised in a family, and that family is the child's world. And your ego will say, this is what the world looks like. It looks like your natal family. Even though that's not true, you know that as adults, that there are different kinds of families and different kinds of experiences. Your ego, that was born into that family for a reason, is going to keep that survival strategy going as long as it can, because for many years it was indeed what it felt a very important strategy. So for most of you, this is what's going on. You have strategies developed in other incarnations and in your childhood that are no longer working for you. And the thing to remember is, this can be changed today. This can be changed today. You can say today is the day I stop being sedentary and I am going to begin to walk. It may be a short walk to start with, but that does not matter. It is the change of mind that is the most important thing. I am no longer a sedentary person. I am going to say to myself, I am an active person. And as you begin to implant that idea within your mind, I am an active person, your subconscious will throw up all of the reasons why you shouldn't be active. Remember, you're inactive as a survival strategy from the past. It will throw up all of those arguments. And that is your job, to discern, oh, this is a subconscious belief that my new activity is activating. It's always been there. It's been unconscious, though. I haven't seen it before. Now, the reason we're going over this again and again and again, many of you know what we're talking about, and you're at times using these strategies. But what we are witnessing in general is, because of the pressures of the situations that many of you find yourselves in now, perhaps restricted travel, perhaps restricted work, or your partner's work is being challenged, there is a tendency within a circumstance such as is happening now for the ego to go back to old strategies, because it perceives the threat, it perceives the unknown future, and it says, well, we know what to do. We were raised in this family, and these are the safety mechanisms that we developed, and you should stick with them because you are alive still because of us. You are alive still because of these strategies. And so many of you are, through these stressful times, revisiting things that you thought were gone. And this will continue as long as the stressors on the outside are continuing to push against you. Now, it may be deemed unfortunate, but it is in fact a good thing, because anything that is unconscious in you is better brought to the surface so that you can assess it and decide whether or not you want to keep it. So if you feel like a little bit of a beginner right now, or if you have aches and pains that are coming up that you think, what's going on? My knee hurts, my knees never hurt before, or you're getting headaches or something like that. Physical pains are also triggered by subconscious beliefs and ideas. So if you've got a new ache or pain that's manifesting, ask yourself, where is it showing itself? Oh, I've got a chronic sore throat. That's my throat chakra. What am I not saying, or what am I saying? Some people will get negative manifestations in their throat chakra, for example, if they are angry, using angry words or vindictive words or gossiping. There will be effects, negative effects showing up in this area and sometimes in the ears for the throat chakra. You understand how your ears are connected to your throat. You get that little itch somewhere, and it's right between the two things. There's a tube that connects the ear and the throat. So if you're getting issues in that area, look at what they are. Are they restrictions in the area, or are they inflammations in the area? This is a clue for you. If it's inflamed, that's more angry or upset. If it's shut down, let's say your thyroid is underproducing. A lot of people have thyroid issues in your society because you shut your voice down. You don't say what you feel. You aren't honest. You're playing socially nice games with people by saying, oh, I'm fine, when in fact you're not. This is a shutting down of the throat chakra. So authenticity speaking, this is not that you're going to dump emotional stuff on people all the time, but this is who I am. This is what I believe in. This is what I do with my time. This is what I value. There are a lot of you that if you were actually quizzed on this particular chakra, you would be having, let's say a B- or a C grade, because you do not speak your truth. You're afraid of censure. You're afraid of upsetting people. You have been taught to be nice and quiet rather than honest and authentic.